am surrounded by wrestling fans. Not sports entertainment fans. Professional wrestling fans! Professional wrestling! This is it! This is us standing up! This is
the Wrestling Matters Podcast, a podcast that stands up for professional wrestling. Why? Because wrestling matters. So join the revolution, because the revolution is now.
Well, enough is enough, and it's time for a change! Professional wrestling! This is it! This is us standing up!
Yes! 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 Yes!
That's 13-14!
Dina, I am the best in the world.
Cause that's the bottom line! Cause Stone Cold said so!
What is happening, ladies and gentlemen? It's me, HEAD, back with you for episode 106 of the Wrestling Matters Podcast. How are we all doing? Hope you're all well. Today's show, we're going to talk Raw, Smackdown, NXT, TNA, ICW, and Ring of Honor, and we'll throw in WrestleMania as well. I'll give you the WrestleMania review. All to come in this podcast. Also, ladies and gents, boys and girls, children of all ages, if there's any children watching this, of course, I'm going to be bringing you part one of the interview I did with Michael Larkin. Yay, another episode of, I believe it's Wrestling Zone with Michael Larkin, so stay tuned for that. Now, I got a couple of things I want to talk about and a few things I want to discuss with you guys first before we get into the gist of today's show. God, somebody get me some teeth, please. Now, I saw something this past week. I hope you all enjoyed WrestleMania, by the way. Apart from that boring World Heavyweight title match, yes, ladies and gentlemen, it is boring. They'd have been best off putting that World Heavyweight Championship match at WrestleMania between Roman Reigns and Triple H. They'd be best off putting it at the beginning of the show, or the curtain jerker. Oh my God, was that boring. I'm sorry, Triple H is a great wrestler. Say what you want about Roman Reigns, but Jesus fucking Christ, that was boring. I did a live stream on WrestleMania and I was dying to go to bed. We all knew who was going to win anyway. I mean, Jesus, it was the worst. I wouldn't say it was the worst, but it was a very, very poor, diabolical, boring match. It really was. It didn't get me hooked in, didn't get me, hooked on or anything like that. It was just, okay, I'm done. I want to go to bed, kind of thing. Now, ladies and gents, don't worry about it, because I hope, for their sake, that they have some more. Big apologies to TMZ. They were right. Stinger's retired, bastards. But yep, they were right. Stinger's retired. Unfortunately, he has. It's over. It's over. Unfortunately, I'm also just reading this quick here. By the way, shout out to Blackjack Mulligan's family. May he rest in peace. He's unfortunately died this past week as well. Very sorry for that. Well said. Fastlane 2016, the least ordered pay-per-view in WWE history. You want to know why it's the least ordered pay-per-view in WWE history? Because it was the most fucking predictable pay-per-view in WWE history. Nobody cares about predictability. They want unpredictability in professional wrestling, whether it's in WWE or whatever. I mean, it was. You could pick the matches. You could pick the matches, and boom. You would have got every one of them right, probably. I think I only got one right on that. Or one wrong, rather, on that. It was unbelievable. Tyler Brays, according to NoDQ.com, is ongoing 0-49. Holy fucking shit, is he getting buried? WWE. What the fuck? Triple H, if you've seen this, please save this motherfucker. Good God. 0-49, that poor bastard. I mean, what the fuck has he done to deserve that? Actually, I don't think I want to know, quite frankly. Where are we? Bray Wyatt, ladies and gentlemen. We'll get to one main talking point of this week. Bray Wyatt. Everybody wants to know what has been up with Bray Wyatt. Well, I'll tell you what's been up with him. For those of you that are not aware, and probably are, Bray Wyatt was supposed to face Brock Lesnar going into WrestleMania. The big major plan was to have Brock Lesnar, Bray Wyatt, one-on-one at WrestleMania. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. Not that it wasn't a bad thing anyway, because we ended up getting Brock Lesnar, Dean Ambrose, rather. Apparently, the reason why Bray Wyatt and Brock Lesnar's match at WrestleMania didn't happen is because Bray Wyatt was carrying a back injury, and they dropped it like that. Hence the reason why we ended up getting Dean Ambrose in. Because according to NoDQ.com, he speaks on WWE changing plans. Now, according to NoDQ.com, he appeared on the Sam Roberts Wrestling Podcast, ladies and gents. He said the following about the whole Brock Lesnar situation. Me and Brock Lesnar are going to meet, and this is the only way I could put this. Me and Brock Lesnar will meet down the line. It will mean something, and I'm going to give him my soul and my body, and hopefully he doesn't kill me. But if he does, then so be it. That's as much as I can give you there, or I can give there rather. I've been beaten up quite a bit this past year. We all have it. It has been a rough year as far as the curse of the injury, but I'm still ticking, barely, but I'm still here and still alive. So, what he's saying in that little clip there, ladies and gentlemen, or that little article there, link will be in the description below. What he's saying is there, ladies and gentlemen, is it's pretty much a done deal. Brock Lesnar, Bray Wyatt will meet down the line. My question is, it will be probably at SummerSlam, because with a big match like this that people want to see, they've already teased it. Probably should have happened in WrestleMania. Injury prevented it from not happening at WrestleMania, and then they teased it at Roadblock. So where do you go from there? There's only one place, SummerSlam. Surely they can't have it at Extreme Rules. Although, Extreme Rules would work to a sense, because there would be a no-holds-barred brawl. You could have a no-holds-barred brawl between these two, and watch these two basically beat the fuck out of each other. But you want to kind of do it for SummerSlam, in a way. If you want to put something big on this feud, on this match, have them have a match at Hell in a Cell, or something, or put them in a Hell in a Cell match. I'm sure Bray would love that. But, yeah, like I say, Extreme Rules could probably work, but you want to wait till SummerSlam for that. At least I would anyway. Now, Bray Wyatt also talked about WWE not understanding his group being the Wyatt family. Now, I had a word with somebody about this at work today. My work that I do, the Middlesbrough job that I do, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, I am a part-time safety steward. They had a word about him and the way they've gone, WWE have gone with the whole Wyatt family. He had this to say about the Wyatt family and WWE not getting them, i.e. probably the main roster. The NXT crowd got them because they were the NXT champions. I don't think when we set out and finally got the call up, I don't know if WWE really understood what they had. Like, we knew the NXT crowd had responded so well to us, and they kind of attached themselves to us. And when we came up here to the main roster, we never in a million years thought it was going to explode the way it did. And it did. It exploded. Yeah. And it was just that kind of thing. The right place at the right time. And we were so different, man. We were so different that I don't think the company knew even how to use us, which is story of WWE Creative's life, quite frankly. They don't know how to use many people, hence CM Punk. What are these things? Like, we were so different in the promos and so different in the way we looked and how we moved. We were big and we would fly and do all crazy stuff. Like, I don't think anyone expected us to be so complete, and they still don't know how to use what we were or what we are. It's true. I mean, like I've said to many times, and I said to somebody at work about this as well, they build the Wyatt family up and build Bray Wyatt up to the point where they always drag him back down when it comes to pay-per-views. They build him up to a point where you think he's going to win. I.e., for example, the match he had with The Undertaker. Don't get me wrong, they built him up and built him up and built him up and built him up and built him up to the point where he may very well win this. He may very well win this match. Not as much as they did with CM Punk, but, to a point. And then everybody thinks he was going to win. What happened? He lost. I believe, from where we are now to from before, I believe the last match he ever won on pay-per-view, from my knowledge, I might be wrong about this, ladies and gentlemen, but the last match he won on pay-per-view, I believe, singles match that is, Bray Wyatt, I believe it was against Chris Jericho. I might be wrong on that, but yeah, it is what it is at the end of the day. And granted, they should never have split up in the first place, but WWE, if you're going to put them back and do what you're doing with them now, Everybody gets them. That's why they're back together, because people get them. People like them. NXT crowd like them. Hell, the WWE made roster likes them. And the crowd. But at the end of the day, WWE creative don't have a fucking clue what the fuck they're doing with them. And it's clear as day. I mean, it's rumored that a payback is going to be the League of Nations and the Wyatt family. Now the League of Nations is down to 3. You know, it's a shame as well, because my supervisor actually saw Bray Wyatt and actually liked the guy, you know, for what he was, for his promos and shit like that. He actually got him. And as soon as I told him who taught him, or who he was mentored by and who taught him, he knew quite away, you know, say no more. It was Jake Roberts. When it came to promos, Jake Roberts taught him well, you know. Jake the Snake Roberts. Probably the best fucking promo guy ever to grace professional wrestling business. But it really pisses me off the way Bray Wyatt and all them are getting used, man. I mean, you know, it's like, really? It just drives me insane, man. It really does. Like I said during the week, WWE have reportedly, or seem to, signed Scottish wrestler Nikki Storm. TNA's lost his WWE's game. There's a video of that on my channel, the Wrestling Matters channel. Be sure to check that out. What else? I'm sure I saw something else that was over here as well. That was intriguing. Yes, Brie Bella confirms her retirement. We already knew that she was leaving, and she's going to be wifey to Daniel Bryan. By the way, I said this a little bit during the show on the Raw review, so I won't say too much. You're going to hear the Raw review in part 2 or part 3, so be sure to check that out as well. Stay tuned for that. But I want to bring something up. WWE, i.e. Zack Ryder. As you know, this past week at WrestleMania, he pulled off the impossible and became Intercontinental Champion. Only 24 hours later, he ended up losing the belt to Miz. This poor son of a gun, I swear to God, they'd be best off putting this bastard right back on NXT and just keep him there. He's got this whole thing with Mojo Rawley of the Hype Bros on the tag team on NXT. He gets brought up to the main roster, and basically he gets squashed, is what it was. He absolutely gets squashed. Oh yeah, we'll bring him up for the Intercontinental Championship, and then we'll piss on him the next night, basically. Because that's what they did. They basically just pissed on him. I mean, for Pete's sake, how can you have somebody win the championship? I mean, in a way, they kind of did this with the US title as well, I believe, if I remember correctly. They had him win the US title, a TLC pay-per-view from Dolph Ziggler, blah, 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 blah. It meant shit. Although I don't think they did what they did with the Intercontinental title. They have him pull the unthinkable, and his dad was in the crowd and everything. And by the way, Maurice is back in WWE. Again, more on that later. They had him back in there, and then to win the title, Zack Ryder wins the title by beating The Miz, only to lose it 24 hours later. Basically, WWE keeps pissing on this guy. Bullshit. And I literally feel sorry for Zack, man. Why are WWE giving this guy the Intercontinental Championship, probably one, if not the most prestigious titles, sort-of titles in WWE's belt line, whatever the fuck they've got? Give it to him. 24 hours later, they have him drop it to The Miz. I mean, for Pete's sake, it's not. I don't care about The Miz. I've never cared about The Miz. You know, he's gone from from what he used to be. By the way, he's not wearing them Lady Gaga bullshits anymore now. So apparently, from what I'm seeing, anyway, he's got a new outfit now. Maybe Maurice has slapped some sense into him and realised what a fucking tramp he looked in that thing. But I mean, go back to the topic. Zack Ryder has done everything for that company, but yet he gets pissed on. He wins the Intercontinental title. 24 hours later, they basically just piss all over it. Bullshit. Complete, utter crap. And if I was Zack Ryder, you know, you better hope this thing with Mojo Rawley works. Although it has seemed to have worked, but I mean, worked to enough to get him to the main roster. Because it seems, ladies and gentlemen, that he'd be best off staying there in NXT with Mojo. Because he ain't getting shit on the main roster. He's just getting shit on, quite frankly. They give him his moment, piss on it the next night. It's complete crap. It really is. Complete and utter garbage. If I was Zack, get out of WWE. Go somewhere else, man. Come over to England. Come join some of the British promotions. Yeah, but I know you like WWE. I know WWE is the main place you want to go to. When they're pushing you over like that, giving you your WrestleMania moment and just pissing on you the next night, dude, get the fuck out of there. Because it's absolute joke. I mean, Jesus fucking Christ. It not only that, it makes no sense. Absolutely makes no one iota of sense. I mean, I really don't know what to say, ladies and gentlemen. Oh yeah, and also, ladies and gents, like I forgot to do at the beginning of the thing, but I'll do it now before I go to commercial break. Be sure to check out Offshoot Radio, all the Offshoot crew, Max Wrestling, Offshoot Radio, Sunday Segway, Evan McCabe's podcast as well, all on there from Saturday to Monday I end it on Monday. So be sure to check all that out as well. swervetalk.wix.com/network. Get on there and check it out, ladies and gents. Also, like their Facebook page as well. And also be sure to check out the Mystery Island. All the links to them will be in the description below. Be sure to check everybody out. And all the partners as well. OSW TV will be in there as well. My name is Anthony Walker. I will be back after this, right after part 3. I'll be back in part 4 for Smackdown and NXT. Then I will give you ICW, TNA, and Ring of Honor. And I'll let you know what's to come as well on the podcast, as well as giving you a few he's and there's of what's to come as well. And also give you the Michael Larkin part 1 interview as well. So be sure to look out for that and check that out. Also, because like I said, I'll let you know this in the final part, guys, on the outro, but I have a few ideas in my mind in terms of ICW and Progress Wrestling. I just can't rattle my brain about it, but I'll tell you all about them later, and until then, I'll be right back right after this. Stay tuned. If you like the Wrestling Matters podcast, why not check out their Facebook page at facebook.com/WM podcast and like the page and show your support to the podcast that stands up for professional wrestling, the Wrestling Matters podcast. Wrestling Matters, wrestling fans.
This is Johnny Ferrari. I'm all in with the Wrestling Matters podcast in Vegas, baby. I've been fighting all my life.
What's happening, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another video. That's right. This is a Raw review from yesterday, in fact, April 4th, 2016. Hope you're all well. And whatever it is you are doing. Before we start this Raw review, I've just got some quick thank yous to pull out. Big thank you to everyone who came to that live stream on Wrestlemania. It's doing very well at the moment from what I'm seeing. Nearly 2,000 views. Thank you so much for that. Probably the longest live stream I've ever done in my life since doing this. Apologies to anybody who came in there and had to put up with some of the garbage that was in there involving the bullying, not the bullying, the trolls that came in there as well. But I wasn't thinking about that. I wasn't worried about that. I appreciate everybody who came in and had a good time and enjoyed me giving the best commentary that I can do, or the best thing that I can do watching WrestleMania. So hope you guys enjoyed WrestleMania as well. And more importantly, ladies and gents, I hope you guys enjoyed Raw too. That's right, because that's what we're here to talk about, ladies and gents. We're here to talk about good old Monday Night Raw from April 4th. And as it seems to always do after WrestleMania, it delivers. It didn't half deliver. Unbelievable, great stuff. A very weird start, though, to be honest. A very weird start, because Shane came out and Shane came out to say goodbye. McMahon came out looking to gloat with Shane and everything, and it came out, and like I say, looking to gloat, looking to stir the pot, if you will. But the Dallas crowd got on Vince's case because they wanted Shane to stay, and he was ready to say goodbye and take his leave. Like the deal was, if he lost, he'd be gone. But it didn't kind of work out that way, because people wanted him to stay. People wanted him to, to stay and run the show. And it even got to the point where the crowd started chanting, "Give him a chance." And Vince gave in. Vince gave into it and gave him a chance and allowed him to be in charge of Raw. And he did a good job. He really did a good job. Just see the... just remember who came up first. Because we had a fatal four-way, a tag team title match, the presentation of the new women's champion, of Charlotte retaining the title, now presentation to be the women's champion, We had a tag team title match, which saw the New Day defend the tag titles against King Barrett and Sheamus of the New Day. And New Day got a little bit of revenge for their WrestleMania loss because they retained the titles. But good tag match. But again, the New Day seems to one-up them any chance they'll get. Yes, it seems that the WrestleMania main event or the WrestleMania match they had was a fluke for the League of Nations because they got the win. The New Day, they got the back, and they're back to normal again in terms of winning. They didn't win at WrestleMania, but they retained the belt. The story of the match, though, was not the match itself. It was after the match. Because now it seems that King Barrett is officially on the verge of not only breaking away from the League of Nations after being kicked out unceremoniously by Sheamus and the crew. Apparently, Sheamus describing him as the weak link. But if you read the dirt sheets, Wade Barrett has made it crystal clear, ladies and gentlemen, that he is leaving. He is not going to resign with WWE. He's not going to re-sign the contract, his contract, and he's made it very clear because of the way he has been treated, the way he has been, the way he's came across, the way he's been treated, and his position in the company. He's out in June. So obviously they're starting that proceedings right now because he's kicked out Sheamus, Rusev, and Alberto Del Rio. Basically, thanks to Sheamus's bro kick, they kicked him out the group. So, League of Nations has now gone from 4 to 3, and that happened because Sheamus was not very happy. And if you saw WrestleMania, they're getting beat up by Legends. They're getting outsmarted by New Day. He had a point in a way. They should have been more dominant, but they weren't as dominant as they thought. So, what's the future now for League of Nations? We'll see moving forward. Summer Rae came out, started running her mouth about Team Bad and Blonde losing at WrestleMania. Yes, they lost at WrestleMania because Naomi tapped out to Bree's Yes Lock tribute to Daniel. And Summer Rae came out and started saying that if she was the captain, she would, it would have been different, yada, yada, yada. And then Sasha came out and put her in her place, basically, and defeated her and made a tap to the bank statement. Obviously, Sasha is now looking for the women's title still because it's no longer the Divas title. Thank God. A debut on Raw of Apollo Crews, ladies and gentlemen, and a carbon copy debut of his, I believe it was NXT pay-per-view debut or NXT main Big Show debut because he got to beat Tyler Breeze. And Tyler Breeze got made a fool out of again. But Apollo was impressive. Give him his due. As he is. If you watch NXT, you know he's impressive because he's really, really good. He really is. Hopefully he can get something good on Raw or SmackDown, wherever he goes. And it'd be interesting to see what happens for him in the future on Raw. I would imagine he's still going to be in NXT. There's no terms of a call-up yet. I haven't heard now in terms of him being called up. But, we'll see. All in all, impressive debut on Raw for Apollo Crews. I'll go to Baron Corbin first before I go to the world title. 2 matches, a match passed because Baron Corbin made his debut on Raw as well. And even though it was a double count out with Dolph Ziggler, he basically made an impact on Raw, just like he did at WrestleMania, winning the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. And he basically destroyed Dolph Ziggler, hitting him with the end of days on the outside and basically making a statement that he means business. It started at WrestleMania when he won the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, and it continued on Raw. Be interesting to see where he goes from this. Would I say it's a different Baron Corbin, the NXT one? Seems that way. I don't know. I wouldn't say it fully. I wouldn't say it 100%, but it seems that way. It seems it's different to what Baron Corbin was on NXT. Because, well, let's face it, he's made his debut at WrestleMania, wins the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, and then comes out on Raw and destroys Dolph Ziggler. So what we'll see remains to be seen. So we'll have to wait and see what happens in the coming shows. The World Champion came out segment before that to gloat. You know, he's now the World Champion. He is the man. He's not liked. He's not hated. He's just on top of the world at the moment, and rightfully so. He beat the man. He beat Triple H, and he's the World Champion. And he opened up to all comers, all challenges for his title, because he knew there's going to be, now he's the World Champion, he knew there was going to be a big list, as long as a shopping queue for him for the title. There's going to be a long list of people wanting to come and wanting to challenge him for that title. 4 guys came out. Chris Jericho came out first and got in his face. Then AJ Styles came out wanting the shot. Didn't have to. Roman showed him the belt and he nodded. And then Kevin Owens came out looking for some, in a way, retribution, losing his Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania. It's time for him. Obviously, that's time now for him to go to the WWE title. And then Sami Zayn came out, who was a constant pain in the ass to Kevin Owens. And then a fight broke out between Owens, Jericho, Owens and Zayn, Jericho, and AJ Styles. Much to the delight of Roman Reigns, he was just like watching, and then Styles got thrown outside the ring, and then Jericho turns around and gets clipped with a spear. He's made a statement, man. He's the world champion. He's not fazed by anybody. And then backstage, he walked into Shane, and Shane told him there was going to be a fatal 4-way match for the #1 contendership, which was the main event. Styles, Jericho, Owens, and Zayn. The winner gets a shot at Roman Reigns. More on that later. Zack Ryder came out to defend his Intercontinental Championship after winning it. Said it praised his dad and everything, and thanked his dad and that. But I'm sorry to say, guys, WWE seemed to have screwed him, because it seems the little Cinderella story is over. We have a new Intercontinental Champion in The Miz. Yeah. Miz came out. Wasn't very happy with what happened last night, the previous night at WrestleMania. Claims that Zack Ryder stole his moment. Stole his WrestleMania moment by winning the Intercontinental Championship. The match went on. It was a good match. But Zack got distracted. Miz got in the face of Zack's father. Zack's father pushed him down on the floor. Then Zack Ryder hits him from behind. JBL running his mouth off from commentary. Big gob in the ass. Oh, you should have been arrested. This, and this. Shut the fuck up, JBL. Jesus Christ. And then as Zack Ryder threw Miz back in the ring, you see towards the commentary position in the crowd, somebody pop up. And wasn't very happy about what happened. She came over and confronted Zack Ryder's father. It was Miz's wife, Maurice. Yeah, it seems Maurice is back. Got in the face of Zack's father, slapped him. Zack was distracted. Skull-crushing finale. Miz is the champ. Miz wins the Intercontinental Championship. Obviously, there's going to be a feud based off this. Probably, since from what I'm guessing, Payback is May 1st. It seems that at Payback, there may be a match between these two for the Intercontinental Championship to settle it. That's where I'm going with it. It hasn't been confirmed yet. That's just my assumption of this. But, yep. Zack is no longer the Intercontinental Champion. And then based off what happened on the pre-show WrestleMania, Dudley Boyz got a little bit of revenge against the Usos, winning a tables match, but this was botched at the end. This was hilarious to me, because at the end, Usos tried to do exactly the same what they did at WrestleMania, put the Dudley Boyz through the table. After winning the match, they put him through the table, jumping off both top ropes and driving Bubba Ray and Devon through a table. Now, Dudley Boyz moved out the way. Usos went through the table. The object of a table match is to be put through a table by your opponent. As soon as the Usos went through the table, the bell rang. Got up. Dudley Boyz won. Yeah. Bubba Ray got one of the Usos, threw him through the table, and then let the timekeeper know what he thought. You could see it. It was botched. He says, now you ring the bell, shouting and screaming at the timekeeper. Now you ring the bell. What is wrong with you? So they fucked that up. But Dudley Boyz won. They got their revenge. But the match ending was botched thanks to the timekeeper. Will this feud continue? We'll see. Do I care about it? Probably not, but we'll see. But then after that, Dudley Boyz were heading back up the ring, the aisle, and they came across Enzo Amore and Colin Cassidy. That's right, they're on the Raw. They made their debut on Raw. And Big Cass and Enzo just basically insulted the Dudley Boyz and let everybody know that they're here on Raw to make an impact. Hopefully they'll get a tag team title run at some point, like they should have got an NXT. Whether they're still on NXT, we will see. But yeah, they got an opportunity to be on Raw, which I'm very grateful, not only grateful, very happy about as well. Charlotte was formerly presented the Women's Championship. She's now the Women's Champion. Yes, for those of you that don't know, the Divas title is dead. The Butterfly belt is gone. And she was formerly presented with the Women's title. Yes, Daddy was at ringside, yada, yada, yada. Becky Lynch with a black eye and everything. But the thing about this, guys, the thing about this for me is, even though Charlotte was showing the Divas respect, it's all about the women's division and whatever, and it is. She started running her mouth off, and every single woman walked out and turned their back on Charlotte. All except one. Natalya. She got in the face of Charlotte and let it rip. And then Charlotte insulted her. Double leg takedown, sharpshooter attempt. She got in the sharpshooter, and then Daddy pulls her out. And then she gloats for the championship, yada, yada, yada. WWE. If there's ever a person that deserves to be women's champion in that company, it's Natalya. Please book a match between these two and have Natalya win the title. That needs to happen. That's been needing to happen for the past 12, maybe over a decade. It needs to happen, and it needs to happen now. So Charlotte, Natalya, probably a payback. Since Payback is May the 1st. Probably the next pay-per-view. I don't know where Extreme Rules has gone, but anyway. And then it was the World Heavyweight Title #1 Contenders match. Before that, Kevin Owens attacked Sami Zayn backstage, powerbombed him through a table. Sami Zayn was unable to compete, so it ended up being a triple threat match. Also, we thought. Shane promised a fatal four-way, and he delivered. It was AJ Styles, Chris Jericho, Kevin Owens, and Cesaro. Yes, the Swiss Superman returns. And a great main event. Very good fatal four-way match on a very good Raw. And the Styles Clash prevailed, ladies and gentlemen. For those of you that don't know, he used it at WrestleMania, and he used it on Raw to get the win and become the #1 contender. AJ Styles is the #1 contender for the World Heavyweight Championship. Will he win it? Probably not. But I hope so. He does win it, but I highly doubt it. AJ Styles is the #1 contender for the world title. He beat Chris Jericho with the Styles Clash to win. The Styles Clash is not being banned in WWE, according to rumors and everything that Vince wanted to ban because of the neck broken and Yoshitatsu shooting his mouth off, an ex-WWE employee and all that. Give me a break. So Styles is now still using the Styles Clash, and he used it to pin Chris Jericho to become the #1 contender for the World Championship. And that wrapped it up for Raw, and I will give Raw a solid 8 out of 10. There was a few he's and there's that shouldn't have happened, but I'll give it a solid 8 out of 10. In my terms, 4 out of 5. In fact, if I'm scoring out of 5, 4 out of 5, out of 10, 8 out of 10. And yeah, that only wraps it up for the Raw review, guys. That wraps it up for this video. I've got to go because I've got to go to work. I've got to get ready for work. So enjoy your rest of your day, guys. Like, share, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Show your support to this channel. Show your support to the videos. Let me know if you want to see more of these videos, which I'm sure you do. And even not, I'll still do them anyway because it's a lot easier for me. Hope you guys enjoyed Raw. I'll see if I've got anything this week as well. By the way, check out the new episode of the Wrestling Matters podcast. A 2-hour episode involving me and one Chris Dutton. It's up now on the channel. Check it out. It is a tribute show, 2-year anniversary show, but a tribute to Chris Travis as well on there as well. So be sure to check it out. Plus 2 top 10s from What Culture as well that I've covered. Also, let me know what you want to see on this channel. Do you want to see more live streams like I did at WrestleMania? Do you want to see what can I do to bring this to you guys, to make this channel great? What can I do? The webcast was successful. I got at least about 15 new subscribers to the channel, which is, hey, subscribers are subscribers. I got over 200 people watching. The final views overall after this webcast ended was over 200 people watching, 200 views, and they've gone up now. It's nearly 2,000. So thanks, guys. I really do appreciate it. If you want to see that webcast, link will be in the description below. My name is Anthony Walker. You have been awesome, and I'll see you guys next time. I gotta go. I gotta go to work, and I'll see you all soon. Come on, Bora. See you next time.
Be sure to listen to the Sunday Segway Wrestling Podcast.
What?
Every Sunday with Kenny Killer and the Galdem Sugar Shuggs.
Yes! Yes!
With all the news, views, and laughter that you want.
They like jet airplanes. Woo! They like long limousines.
Every Sunday, the Sunday Segway Wrestling Podcast on Podomatic, iTunes, and YouTube.
So why don't you choke on that, slap nut?
There's only one wrestling podcast that gives you honest, uncut opinions and the most unique trivia since WWE did The Weakest Link. And the only place you can hear the show-stealing podcast promo every single week.
Covering WWE, TNA, Ring of Honor, Lucha Underground. Max Wrestling Podcast is the place for you. Join myself, Evan Money McCabe, the Phoenix, and the Butcher, Sundays at 7 PM UK time, 2 PM Eastern time with your host, Danny Dangerously, on VOC Nation and the Swerve Talk Network.
Go to maxwrestling.wix.com/maxwrestling or follow us at maxwrestlinguk for more details.
Give in to the madness.
Boy, have I worked hard tonight, guys. Holy moly. Welcome to this Raw review, this WrestleMania review, live thoughts and highlights. I won't keep it too long for you guys. I'll try and keep it as brief as I can. I'll go through the rundown of what happened, or the good stuff that happened, and the highlights and the thoughts of what was a very epicable, impactful moment galore WrestleMania, man. It really was. It was absolutely fantastic. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Was it the best WrestleMania ever? I don't know. That's a debatable thing for you guys. That's something I'll leave you guys to discuss. But I thoroughly enjoyed it, very much so. I saw what happened. I don't know what happened in the Divas match, if the Divas match did take place. I do know this, guys. Kalisto retained the US title. That was on the pre-show against Ryback. And the Dudleys Dudleys got beat. Excuse me. The Dudleys got beat by the Usos. But we don't care about the pre-show. At least I don't care about the pre-show or the kickoff show or whatever they're calling it. I care about the matches on the main card. And it all kicked off, guys, with the seven-man match for the Intercontinental Championship. First shocking moment of the night. Because I just finished doing a live stream, and a lot of people said that this would be Zack Ryder. This would be Sami Zayn's match, but Zack Ryder won it. There was a lot of good spots in the match, a lot of good stuff in the match as well. A lot of good stuff in respects of, Sami Zayn going through a ladder, diving onto everybody on the outside, and then running around the ring doing that bottom rope through DDT that he does on the outside as well, which was epic. A lot of good moments in this match as well, but Zack Ryder is your new Intercontinental Champion. There's a sentence I never thought I'd say, ladies and gentlemen, and that's not a knock on Zack Ryder by any stretch of the imagination, but if you'd have told me that was going to happen, guys, I'd have said you're out of your mind. But it's happened, and Zack Ryder, woo, is the new new Intercontinental Champion. And hey, to you, sir. GG indeed to you, sir. What else is there? AJ Styles and Chris Jericho was a second match. A very good match. Were they better than the other matches? I don't know. I'll leave you to decide on that one, guys. You can decide that one for yourselves. I thoroughly enjoyed it. A great wrestling match. Probably their last match they'll have. And shockingly enough, guys, AJ Styles lost. That's right. Springboard right into a code breaker. And Jericho gets another shocking win because I never expected AJ to lose in this one. And many of you people out there are probably going to be disheartened to that one because, considering what they did with Sting last year, AJ's lost at WrestleMania, Sting's lost at WrestleMania, his only WrestleMania if you watch the Hall of Fame. Chris Jericho won a great match, great wrestling match, great match all around, but I was pulling for AJ in that one, but AJ, lost on the grandest stage of them all, and I don't think he's going to take that too kindly. Hopefully, that's the end of this match. I don't think we're going to see the end of this match. I think there's going to be one more match between the two, but we'll have to wait and see. But all in all, a great wrestling match, and Chris Jericho got the victory by countering the springboard, which I'm guessing was the forearm, into a code breaker. Also, guys, don't believe everything you've read on the dirt sheets, okay? Don't believe everything you read on the dirt sheets until you've actually seen them yourself, because I'll tell you the reason why. There was one point in the match, the highlight of the match. AJ Styles used the Styles Clash. There's all these rumors going around that, the Styles Clash was banned. Was banned for the match and everything. Nah, it wasn't. Styles Clash was not banned. Styles Clash was used on WrestleMania night. So Styles Clash was not banned. All the rumors out the window. But Jericho kicked out. Like I said, Jericho got the victory in what was a great match. Very good match between the two. New Day and the League of Nations. Now, one of my favorite moments of this evening as well. Not for the match itself, what happened after the match. League of Nations get their victory. They get their, revenge, if you will, because up until this point, the New Day had their number, basically getting one over on them, and they eventually ended up getting the victory. League of Nations got the victory, got their win, got their WrestleMania moment in a way, but the highlight and the story of the match was not the match itself, it was after it, because Shawn Michaels came out, Mick Foley came out, and Stone Cold came out. That's right. Them three legends came out, and they went to the ring. New Day grabbed out of, I believe, one of the members of the New Day. I believe it was Sheamus, and grabbed out of them. And Stone Cold, the next minute, Stone Cold, Shawn Michaels, and Mick Foley are fighting with the League of Nations, beating the hell out of them. Stunners, super kicks, mandible claws, you name it. And they fought off the League of Nations, which was just, oh my God, in itself. My favorite part of that though was not only that, was after the whole thing, because everybody, Stone Cold came in with the beers and all that, and the New Day wanted them to dance, the legends to dance with New Day. Foley did it. Michaels did it. Very bad twerking impersonation too, I might add, for Shawn Michaels. You know, doing the twerking and everything, which was what? And then they tried to get Stone Cold involved. Stone Cold then, with Austin Creed, Xavier Woods, he went like this, started doing this and everything, and then drops Xavier Woods with a stunner, which are hilarious. Typical Stone Cold. And then the legends take the bow and everything like that. I might as well get this one out the way as well. While I'm here, The Rock and Bray Wyatt. That's right. The Rock came in with the Dallas cheerleaders and then got interrupted by Bray Wyatt. And there was an impromptu match because Bray Wyatt and Rock had a verbal confrontation. Rock challenged a member of the Wyatt family to a match. He got one. And that was Eric Rowan, not Bray Wyatt. Rock bottoms out Rowan and beats him in 6 seconds. The Wyatt family looked to attack The Rock until a savior came back. Superman to you people. John Cena returned, and the next minute you've got John Cena fighting with The Rock, the Wyatt family. I loved it, but if you're talking Bray Wyatt and all that, considering that Bray Wyatt was supposed to face Dean Ambrose and Brock Lesnar, yeah. Not a good look for the Wyatt family, although it was a great moment, like I said. Great moment nonetheless. The street fight. Brock Lesnar domination. Ambrose did fight back. He did put up a good fight and everything. But 13 suplexes, 1 F5 on chairs, I might add. And Brock Lesnar got the victory, as we expected. And like I said, Dean Ambrose put up a hell of a fight. Unfortunately, this match didn't steal the show, in my opinion, because the match that stole the show was the women. That's right, the women's triple threat match. Although it was spoilt by Daddy at the end, Ric Flair getting involved, holding Sasha back for Charlotte to retain, this match stole the show. These three wrestled, the Four Horsewomen, 3 members of the Four Horsewomen. They wrestled. And they didn't wrestle for the Divas title, guys. The rumors were true. The Divas title is now binned. It is retired, whatever you want to call it. And it's now Charlotte Flair is now the WWE Women's Champion. And the women's title, guys, is a replica-ish of the WWE World Heavyweight title as well. Yes. Women's wrestling is back where it belongs. No more Divas belt. No more butterfly belt. No more Divas division. Ding dong, the Divas division is dead. Long live women's wrestling. Because women's wrestling is back where it belongs. What will happen? Be interesting to see what happens from this point on. But it's a new day-ish, no pun intended, for the women's division. Though the Divas division now, scrap that. It's now the women's division. It's a new day, and I love it. I love it as well. You're probably thinking to yourself, I've just come off a live stream, guys, and yeah, you're probably thinking to yourself, I had to change my t-shirt because I'm sweating like a pig. I've got to get that temperature down on my thermometer anyway up there. But anyway, the next match I'm going to talk about was the Hell in a Cell match. The damnedest thing I've ever seen in my life. And the damnedest Hell in a Cell match I've ever seen in a while. Shane McMahon took it to the Undertaker, probably could fight. Undertaker showed his dominance in the match. But the highlight of the match was there was a spot in the match where they got outside of the cage, thanks to a spear from Undertaker through the cage, through the cage gate onto the announce table. They eventually got on the outside, and Shane gets the Undertaker on the announce table, laying on the announce table, and like he did on Raw when he did that elbow through the table, he tried to do it again, except this time he tried it off the top of the cell. Goes up on top of the cell, jumps off, just like on Raw, except it was on the top rope on Raw, tries it again, off the cell, drives right through the table, completely takes him out of the match, knocks him complete out. He did that to the Undertaker, he went down fighting, but that did him in, and the Undertaker got the victory, and got the 1, 2, 3, and there's no more Shane McMahon. Shane McMahon is done. Until we know what happens on Raw, Shane McMahon is done. Yeah, Undertaker still lives in WWE, as we know. And like I said, I didn't have a problem with that. I wanted Shane to win to get rid of the Authority, but I don't have a problem with that. Undertaker's Undertaker, and I love me some Undertaker. Like one more match could be in the pipelines. Maybe we'll get the John Cena match next year at WrestleMania. Or if he goes back to SummerSlam, hell, do it at SummerSlam. I'll be happy with that. But that was what was the scheduled match, by the way, guys. John Cena versus The Undertaker. But it didn't happen due to Cena's injury. But now since Cena's back, let's do the match at SummerSlam. If you could do it Mania, what next big show you do? SummerSlam. Oh, wait, see. Time will tell if that will happen or not. What else was there? Oh, yeah, the Battle Royal. Shaquille O'Neal was in the Battle Royal, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, you heard me correct. Okay, I didn't say that. I'm not bullshitting you. If you didn't see WrestleMania, Shaquille O'Neal was in the Battle Royal, fighting the Big Show. They both eliminated themselves. You're not going to believe who was in the Battle Royal, man. DDP was in the Battle Royal. Tatanka was in the Battle Royal. Yes, you heard me correct. Tatanka, Goldust, all four members of the Social Outcast, even though they didn't win it. The winner of the Battle Royal at the end was Baron Corbin. That's right. Austin Aries at NXT TakeOver in Dallas. Looks like he could be moving to the main roster and making a big name for himself. And he kicked the damn door down in this WrestleMania because he won the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. NXT TakeOver, ladies and gentlemen, they damn sure took over WrestleMania, especially that Memorial Battle Royal as well. Many people thought Kane was going to win. Many people thought Mark Henry was going to win. Baron Corbin won the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. I'm not the biggest Baron Corbin fan, but hey, that'll do wonders for his career. I wonder when to bounce back from getting his butt kicked or getting beat, outsmarted, if you will, by Austin Aries the previous night. And yes, guys, to the predictable match of the evening, Roman Reigns and Triple H. We all know what was going to happen. Stephanie was at ringside. She took a spear in the match, but we all knew what was going to happen. Roman Reigns wrestled like a one-arm bandit. Yes, Roman Reigns, they put on a good match. Wasn't the greatest of matches, but it was a great match, a good match nonetheless. I had no problems with it. It was a wrestling match. No doubt, no fighting or anything like that. Triple H had to keep it wrestling and everything. And then Triple H basically wrestling a one-arm bandit, quite frankly. But the ending was Triple H goes for the sledgehammer from Stephanie after being speared. He goes to hit Reigns with it. Reigns ducks, takes a spear, and the inevitable happened. Roman Reigns is your new World Heavyweight Champion. Yes, Roman Reigns is the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. Now, going into Raw, will the rumors be true? Will he turn heel? We'll have to wait and see. There's all these rumors that Roman Reigns is going to turn heel on Raw. So we'll have to wait and see on that one, guys. But as we know right now, guys, Roman Reigns is the World Heavyweight Champion. And what ended a damn WrestleMania, damn good WrestleMania in my opinion. Unbelievable WrestleMania, loved it. Two great moments. The highlight of the night with me was seeing Shawn Michaels, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and Mick Foley fighting. Unbelievable. I am tired as hell. As you can probably tell by the look on my face, I'm falling asleep. I'm dying to get to bed. Credit to everybody who came on my live stream when I was live streaming WrestleMania. I'll show the live stream in the description below. It might not be there straight away, but it'll be there sometime soon in there as well. Check it out. It's on the YouTube. It's going to be on the YouTube channel. It'll probably take forever since it was over 4 hours. But it's the biggest live stream I've ever done in my life. And yeah, it was just the damnedest thing ever. And a hell of a good WrestleMania. I'll give it a 4 out of 5. A solid 7 out of 10 for me. There was a few bits here and there, but I didn't have a problem with the whole structure of the show. There was, like I said, there was a few bits here and there, like Ric Flair getting involved in the women's division, the women's match again, and Stephanie at times getting involved in the WWE title match, even though she paid for it halfway through the match. All in all, great WrestleMania. Thanks to everybody who came into my live stream. Thanks to everybody who's checked this video all out. I am very tired. I am off to bed. Check out the new episode of the podcast coming up later on tonight, 9 p.m. UK time, 3 to 4 p.m. Eastern time, and on this very channel. And thanks again, guys. WrestleMania was awesome. I am whacked out. I gotta go. I'm going to bed. I'll see you next time, guys. Peace out. If you like the Wrestling Matters Podcast, why not follow the Wrestling Matters Podcast now on Twitter at WM Podcast for all professional wrestling news. Wrestling Matters, wrestling fans. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Wrestling Matters Podcast. That's right. Part 4, ladies and gentlemen, of the episode 106. And we're going to talk Smackdown and NXT. And I got a little something to tell you as well, so I'll do these first. Smackdown and NXT. On SmackDown this week, Von Villains beat the Lucha Dragons. Natalya beat Summer Rae. Intercontinental Champion Miz retained his belt against Zack Ryder. They went a bit too early with that one. But again, like I said earlier on in the Raw review, and I said earlier on in the show, they just pissed all over Zack Ryder in this. Apollo Crews makes his SmackDown debut by beating Curtis Axel. Dean Ambrose builds a little bit of momentum back up at the expense of Tyler Breeze. And Roman Reigns kicked off the show with AJ Styles in a verbal confrontation. Styles saying that he had to beat Reigns, and Reigns had to beat him. Oh, well, Reigns didn't have to beat him, but if Styles wanted the championship, he'd have to beat Reigns for it. The guy, as he put it. And as for the main event itself of SmackDown, after AJ Styles and Cesaro, Kevin Owens, and Chris Jericho all competed in the Whirlwind 4-way match on WWE's, or for the number one contendership for the WWE title on Raw, they were all in the SmackDown main event in a tag team match. But in height of the action, Sami Zayn, who couldn't compete on Raw in the WWE's number one contenders title match fiasco because of KO, emerged. The commentation allowed, the distraction is what it's supposed to say. I don't know who writes this stuff, but anyway, came down, distracted Kevin Owens, and AJ Styles picked up a nice little win for his team. And then the prize fighter and Sami Zayn brawled after the match, which is all leading to a match with them two for or at Payback. It's all down. I put it in the description below. I made a video of it during the week or last week rather. I believe it was yesterday I put it up, if I'm not mistaken. Yesterday or Saturday, it was one of them. On the Wrestling Matters YouTube channel that I put up, saying that 7 matches were rumoured for Payback. And from what I've seen, at least 4 or 5 of them are in the works. Maybe more, I don't know. But they're all rumoured nonetheless, but it looks like they're going down. So that's basically what happened on SmackDown, guys. Nothing much there, and credit to SmackDown as well, because it is really becoming a very good show, man. It's getting back to I wouldn't say it's getting back to the levels it once were, I'll be putting it mildly, but it's getting there. It's not as the bitch brand as people may call it now. It's, people are getting into it. People are liking it again, which is good. I mean, I'm liking it too, don't get me wrong. Now, for NXT had a match that was advertised for the Takeover show, but I believe they took it off the Takeover show and put it on the actual, the TV show itself, which was Elias Sampson and Apollo Crews, which saw Apollo Crews beat Elias Sampson as well, which is a squash match, quite frankly. And I believe this went the full show, so, because there was nothing, from what I'm seeing right now, guys, there was nothing more on the show. If you haven't seen NXT TakeOver, I will play the review is on my channel, ladies and gents. The review is on my channel, so be sure to check it out. If you know what, I'm actually going to play that audio. I actually forgot about NXT TakeOver. The review, if you want to see it, is on my channel, but I will play the audio right after I'm done with this part, so stay tuned for that. Okay, it's coming up in a matter of minutes, but before I do play that, ladies and gentlemen, I want to give you a little quick insight to what's to come on the podcast before I forget. I've got something in the works, and it's involving ICW and Progress Wrestling. Now, I'm thinking of doing a separate podcast for both of them, because I haven't had time to watch a lot of Progress in a while. I've been in here and there and checked things out and everything, and there has been some good stuff, no doubt, and I'm always checking out ICWs. Even if I have to force ICW down my throat, I will do it, because ICW is the shit. But what I'm thinking of doing, I have this idea in my head of trying to, like I tried last time, the separate podcast, reviewing the shows and everything. But I'm thinking of doing a separate ICW podcast, on its own, for me. Wrestling Matters Production, of course, not copying anybody else, or either they're trying to do their own podcast, Wrestling Matters Production, of course. So that's something in the works. I will let you know down the road, down future podcasts, what's going to happen. Or if you want, check out my YouTube channel, AJW Wrestling Matters on YouTube, on youtube.com, and I'll let you know on there as well. Subscribe to that channel as well for more updates and what's taking place. And I mean, it's one of them things, guys. It's just finding the time to do it. I mean, big up to Steve Dawson for helping me out previous time, but I took a break from it because I had a lot of stuff to do with the podcast as well, and I just haven't had time to get back on it. So I'm thinking to myself, what can I do in that respect? So like I say, look out for future podcasts, and I'll see what I can do for you guys. So it'd be a big thing, to do and everything. It's a big thing to do in terms of, finding the space and finding the time and how to present it to you guys, and presentation is key in that. So like I say, look out for future podcasts. I'll keep you updated, but like I say, we'll have to wait and see how things pan out. But I just thought I'd throw that in for you there, guys. Right, since I forgot about it, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm going to do it right now, I'm going to play the audio for the NXT TakeOver. I don't think I played it last week because I believe I had Chris Dutton on the show last week, so I'm going to play it for you now. This is the following audio you're about to hear is NXT TakeOver Dallas audio. And when I'm done with that, I'll be back in the next part with Michael Larkin, TNA, Ring of Honor, and ICW. So stay tuned for that, plus an outro. So all stay tuned for that. It's an action-packed show today, guys. Hey guys, it's me, it's at HEAD, back with you for another video. Little bit out of proportion, basically, last minute thing. It's about NXT. NXT review. I watched Dallas, the NXT Dallas show. I have to say, I loved it. It was amazing. Shocking moments, top to bottom, great stuff. Loved it. There was 5 matches on the card. I think one got took off. Unless that was for NXT, up-and-coming NXT show. But there was one that was promoted for the actual show itself, the actual NXT, takeover show, which has been on, but wasn't appeared. According to Wikipedia, anyway. I don't know if it was promoted for the show, but it was promoted via Wikipedia, but it never happened. All in all, it didn't really need to be on, considering how NXT TakeOver turned out. I'll start with the tag team titles. The Revival, Dash and Dawson against American Alpha. Jason Jordan, Chad Gable. Unbelievable tag match to start off with. Alpha with the advantage after first. These guys took it to him because I thought it was going to be Revival, dominating the match and dominating it to the point where, they'd have them for about, they do what they did with their Enzo Amore and Colin Cassidy. Never happened, though. You know, American Alpha met them match for match, and it was relatively easy, even for the 10 minutes, with American Alpha just having the slight advantage because they always seemed to be one step ahead. And then, I mean, like I said, they had an answer for everything. The champs had the offense. Alpha had an answer for everything. Dash Wilder hit a wild clothesline on the outside, which managed to get the champs back in control, but it was only for a brief moment. And then it got to the point where the champs pulled out all the stops, pulled every trick in the book, tried to use every trick in the book they can to their advantage to retain the titles. It didn't work. American Alpha wouldn't quit, and it paid off because a bit of tag team improvisation got them the victory and got them the win as well. And I was surprised at that. I didn't think that the American Alpha would win. Am I complaining about it? No. Do they deserve it? Yes. And it'd be interesting to see where they go with the tag team titles. I would imagine they've got a lot of teams coming after them, Enzo Amore and Colin Cassidy being one of them. But yeah, you know, great way to start the NXT show and a great tag match. Austin Aries, Baron Corbin. Now, Austin Aries and Baron Corbin dominated most of this match. But, you know, Aries took it to Corbin from the start, but it got to the point where Corbin made this his match. He was dominating it. He had, you know, he was the taller of the two. You know, Aries had that pitbull-like mentality. Corbin, you know, dominated most of the match, nearly all of it, if I could say that. You know, Aries showing some great offense as well in the points of the match as well. And it got to the point where Corbin thought he had him beat. He was going for the end of days. Aries counters it, rolls him up, and gets the victory. You know, that veteran instinct from Austin Aries got him the win. And that's why he's the self-proclaimed, but that's why many people believe he's the greatest man that ever lived. Or the greatest wrestler that ever lived. There you go. Where are we? Now for one of the main events of the evening. Sami Zayn, Shinsuke Nakamura. Head games to start off with, but this match turned from a wrestling match because for the first 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes of the match, it was a wrestling match, no doubt, feeling each other out and everything. And then it just turned into a fight. A straight up, hard-hitting, strong style fight. From start to finish. Unbelievable. Just incredible stuff. It really was. Absolutely incredible. And yeah, hard-hitting to say the least, man. I mean, it was crazy. Crazy stuff. You know, kicks, lots of kicks, and that little move that Sami Zayn does through the bottom rope when they're on the outside and turns it into a DDT. Nakamura had a counter for that and just kicked him right in his face. Unbelievable match. Sami Zayn at one point hit a clothesline, which would have made JBL even proud and happy. Absolutely amazing match, and a straight kick ended the awesome match with Nakamura getting the victory. But, you know, will this be the end of Sami Zayn in NXT? Because he's got in a Continental Championship match at WrestleMania, and it looks like he's heading for the main roster. Like I said before, this could be the way now for him to go. You know, because Kevin Owens had a match on NXT. Next day, he was fighting Cesaro at SummerSlam. Maybe this is his go-out match. Except now he's got somewhat a day to rest before going into the Intercontinental Championship match at WrestleMania, which should be good. And I believe he will come out Intercontinental Champion at WrestleMania. But anyway, back to NXT. The next match after that, amazing match anyway, 5 stars all around. And you know what? Not only was that match of the night, that might be match of the year. And It's a match of the year candidate. And not a bad start for Nakamura in his NXT career. Women's title match. Now, this was the shocking moment of the night because I never expected this. Yes, Asuka was undefeated going into the match, yada, yada, yada. It was a hard-hitting, physical women's match, bell to bell. Bayley hit the nail on the head in their post-match interview because she did. Asuka did have a counter for everything that Bayley tried to do. You know, Bayley tried one thing, Asuka had a counter for that. You know, it was very difficult for Bayley to get a little bit of offense in, which she eventually ended up doing, but it would never last. And it got to the point where Asuka eventually ended up becoming the champion after Bayley passed out in the Asuka lock, which I believe is the cross-face chicken wing. Unbelievable. Just straight up insane match, hard-hitting, physical. Bayley showed why she was the NXT Women's Champion, and Asuka showed that even I predicted this as well. She would be a future NXT Champion, NXT Women's Champion. Where does Bayley go with this? I don't know. Maybe she'll get a rematch and get the belt back. I don't know. There may be some series of matches coming up. We all know she's heading for the main roster at some point. Maybe this is it. Maybe she can go and join her buddies in the Four Horsewomen on the main roster. I don't know where this goes with Bayley, but Asuka is now the NXT Women's Champion. And what was a great match, great women's match. And hopefully, if the rumors are true, maybe this could elevate up to the main roster as well, considering what I have read and I have heard might happen after WrestleMania. So we'll have to wait and see, though. Now, speaking of hard-hitting matches, the NXT Championship, Finn Balor, Samoa Joe. Now, I have an issue with this match, not the match in general. Okay, not the match in general. The match in general was 5 stars. Unbelievable, a hard-hitting physical match. A headbutt actually at the start of the match ended up busting Samoa Joe wide open, blood coming down from his face, the side of his eye area. But the biggest thing that pissed me off about this match, and in a way kind of spoiled it for me, was the idiotic morons, referee and doctors getting in the way, just trying to do the... They didn't do it as much in the Nakamura match because Nakamura got his nose busted open. But they were getting in the way, and you could hear the crowd were frustrated about it. They were like, let them fight, you know, let Joe bleed, let Joe bleed, let Joe bleed. And it even got to the point where one thing that I agree with, that I absolutely love and agree with, was fuck PG. You know? Because this is why PG is so fucking annoying. And why these other companies, like TNA, for example, have the balls, you know, to do something like this and, you know, have blood in their thing, you know, TV-14 kind of stuff. It drives me mad. Watching it as a fan, trying to watch an awesome match, and you've got these doctors and these clowns, referee, trying to wipe the blood off him. If you want to do that after the match. And you wonder why Brock Lesnar ended up throwing the doctor over the top rope when in the Hell in a Cell match with their Undertaker. And the one that, if you believe the rumors behind the scenes, Vince was actually pissed off about. You know, Vince lost the plot with that. But you could understand it. At the end of the day, you can't control blood. Blood can't be controlled. Oh, yeah, you can sit there and just wipe the damn thing off. You know, in the fight, it's going to come back at some point. You know, it's going to come back whether you like it or not. If you want to do the blood thing and, you know, wipe it off, wait until after the match. You've got the NXT Championship. You've got 2 guys who have been going at it since NXT London. Joe wants the championship. Balor wants to retain it and prove himself and prove the reason why he's the NXT champion. And you've got idiotic doctors and referees trying to wipe the blood off the opponent's face because he's bleeding. And even Balor at one point was just saying, let him go. Let him bleed, let him go. Get out the way, boom. What it should have been was two guys just going at it. And it was. I'm not saying it wasn't. But what pissed me off about it was the referees and the doctors getting in the way on the outside. Even when there were spots in the match, you could see the doctor running around the ringside trying to wipe the blood off. It was ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And it's fucking frustrating as a fan to watch that, because you're trying to watch and you want to see these two guys go at it, but then you've got these little skimpy little doctors running around the ring or referee wiping the blood off. Let him go. Two guys fighting, heat of the battle. Let them go to war. Don't freaking wipe that off. If you want to do that, do it after the match or backstage. Just two guys going at it for a major title. Let them go. Turn them loose. If they bleed, they bleed. Let them go. That's what the fans want to see. That's what I wanted to see. I don't want to see little doctors or referees wiping the blood off. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. I mean, it was a hard-hitting start to fight off with when the blood thing came off, because Balor ended up diving within the first 5 minutes on Joe. Unreal start to the match. Joe in shock when Balor kicks out of the muscle buster towards the end. Like, what the fuck is going on here? Because he thought he had him beat, and then he had that look on his face like he saw a ghost. And then Balor looks to hit him with the finishing move, which was Bloody Sunday, I believe. I believe that's the move that was called. Bloody Sunday move. Looks to finish him off with it, and then Joe counters into a sleeper, and then Balor counters the sleeper and rolls back while Joe still got him in the sleeper and gets the victory. A la Bret Hart, Rowdy Piper at WrestleMania 8. It was exactly the same ending as the WrestleMania 8 match for the Intercontinental Championship. And I believe they did it as well with Austin and Bret Hart at Survivor Series in 96 in their very first match they had as well, which led into the series they had and the feud they had as well. So, a la WrestleMania 8, a la Survivor Series 96, exactly the same finish here at NXT, and Balor walks out NXT champion. Overall, 5 stars all around. Thoroughly enjoyed NXT TakeOver Dallas. Great way to start the WrestleMania weekend. Hopefully, WrestleMania can have some power or some levelness on that. I will be live streaming through that. As you're seeing right now, this is what you're going to see Sunday night when I watch WrestleMania as well. I'll have the chat up on YouTube and everything, and hopefully, I'll have WWE Network here right in front of you. I'll be watching it through this way and checking through the chat that way. This is exactly the setup you're going to see, guys, on WrestleMania night as well. Hopefully, WrestleMania can... I don't know if it'll beat it, but hopefully it can be on some level of par and some levelness of what what will go on at the end of the day. Hopefully, I use that term very loosely though, but we'll have to wait and see what happens. And I'm very much looking forward to it at the end of the day, and I can't wait to see what happens at WrestleMania. I can't wait to see what happens. See if this live stream. I'm looking forward to the live stream. I've got to admit, guys, I am a little bit nervous about it, but I'll make sure it all goes well. And I just plan on sitting back and relaxing, enjoying WrestleMania. That's all I plan on doing. Will it beat NXT TakeOver? I doubt it, but hopefully it can be on the same level as NXT TakeOver Dallas. All in all, NXT TakeOver Dallas was 5 stars all the way around. Loved it, start to finish. 10 out of 10 for me. Unbelievable. Apart from the referee bullshit, and like the crowd correctly says, and like it says in my title as well, next to the results, highlights results, this is the NXT TakeOver Dallas 2016 full show review, highlights and results. And like it says there as well, that little hashtag, fuck PG. Get rid of it. Let's get back to proper wrestling and have 2 gladiators compete. Let's bring back professional wrestling in WWE. Hopefully, it will all change after WrestleMania. Until then, guys, my name is Anthony Walker. You have been absolutely awesome. Don't forget my live stream tomorrow as well. Live stream WrestleMania, plus new episode of the podcast coming this Monday. And until then, guys, love yous all, and I'll see you next time. Peace out.
There's only one wrestling podcast that gives you honest, uncut opinions and the most unique trivia since WWE did The Weakest Link. And the only place you can hear the show-stealing podcast promo every single week.
Covering WWE, TNA, Ring of Honor, Lucha Underground. Max Wrestling Podcast is the place for you. Join myself, Evan Money McCabe, the Phoenix, and the Butcher. Sundays at 7 p.m. UK time, 2 p.m. Eastern time with your host, Danny Dangerously, on VOC Nation and the Swerve Talk Network.
Go to maxwrestling.wix.com/maxwrestling or follow us at maxwrestlinguk for more details.
Give in to the madness.
Hello, everyone. Yes, it's me, HEAD, back with you for another talk. That's right. It is another episode of my, I'd say, occasional talk with a member of the S&M show podcast. That's right. It is Michael Larkin. He is back, ladies and gentlemen. What's going on, Michael?
I'm doing all right, Anthony. I'm hanging in. I'm looking forward to being back here on Wrestling Zone Episode 3. This is our third installment of this. I'm ready to get into it.
Yeah, the reason why it's been taking so long, ladies and gentlemen, is due to personal matters. Michael's had some troubles with his family. Not to go into too much detail, but there has been some issues in his family. He's had to take care of some family business. So that's why it's took so long to, for it to come back and everything. And we had the last one, I believe, was before Christmas. So that's why that's why it's took so long to come back, because he's had some family business to take care of as well, which is cool with me because I've had some business to take care of as well, working my ass off at the borough. So all in all, we are back for the third installment. Episode 1, episode 2, I believe are up on SoundCloud. I would imagine they'll upload on SoundCloud. Like I said, I was going to do, although the second one was a little bit late, but I got it up there eventually. So this one will go up, it will go in parts on the podcast, ladies and gentlemen. You will hear this on the podcast as well. This is for the Wrestling Matters podcast. I believe this will start episode 105. So this will start episode 105. This will be recorded over the Wrestlemania weekend. Yes, it's Wrestlemania week, ladies and gentlemen. Yay! Woo. And speaking of Wrestlemania, we're going to get your predictions. Now, I'm not going to say anything, guys, because if you've listened to the podcast, you will already know I did an audio with the Raw review as well as my Wrestlemania predictions, so you'll already know my Wrestlemania predictions, so I'm not going to repeat myself. But I'm going to get Mr. Larkin's Wrestlemania predictions, and you know what? Let's waste no time. Let's get into it right now. Now, I will say a few cents here and there of who I'd want, but I'm not going to say too much because, like I say, you probably have already known about this. We'll kick off. What's that?
Yeah, I said, no, I agree with you, yes.
Yeah, so we'll kick off. Okay, I'm just going to say something there.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, we'll kick off with... I tell you what, let's kick off with the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Who do you see winning that? Because we don't know who's in it. There's a few that we do know who's in it. Big Show, Kane, has made it clear as well.
The Social Outcasts and Tyler Breeze.
Yeah, the Social Outwits and Tyler Breeze.
Yep.
So I could probably say it right now and tell you this right now, guys. The Social Outcasts ain't winning.
Yep.
That's a fact. Okay. I think I made a prediction saying that Tyler Breeze, I would like to see Tyler Breeze win this, but that's wishful thinking. But who do you see? Who do you envision winning this?
Well, here's what I'm thinking, Anthony. I mean, there's talk that this might be his last year, so if you want to do something nice, I would give it to Mark Henry. But I'll be honest with you, a lot of people are all about Braun Strowman and how he's all, the black sheep of the Wyatt family. I don't think Braun Strowman's going to win it, but like I said, if you want to do something nice, if he's going to be retiring and this is his last year, I'd give the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal to Mark Henry.
The thing is with Braun Strowman, I think I've mentioned this a few times. The biggest thing that people don't like about the guy is because he's been rushed onto the main roster too early.
Yes.
The NXT roster or the NXT the NXT show is not just an event. It's not just a brand. It's not just a wrestling program each and every Wednesday on the network. Little plug there. But it's supposed to be a developmental area as well.
Mm.
I do not remember one time Braun Strowman was ever wrestling in the NXT.
Well, the last time that we saw him in NXT, he wasn't even on the NXT brand. I mean, the only time you saw him was he was a Rosebud.
Yeah.
That's the only time you saw him.
Yeah. And plus, I will admit, he's been in the developmental. There has been clips of him being in the developmental, the Performance Center.
Performance Center, yes.
I've seen clips of him in there as well. I've seen photos of him there. So he's had some training in that respect. But I think it's just a case of WWE management seeing this guy and thought, ooh, he could be good for the Wyatt family.
Yeah.
He could be good as a young guy and I say young guy with a straight face because he's a big motherfucker, but he could be good for the Wyatt family. He could be good for that direction. He could be good for that. Like a young guy with a Wyatt family. Like the Evolution back in the day, they had two guys in Evolution back in the day. Hell, back to the Dangerous Alliance, the old Dangerous Alliance in WCW, they had one guy, even though it was supposed to be four of them, but put him and pitched one guy, which ended up being Stone Cold Steve Austin. So, it kind of works in that respects, but the guys had no development. I mean, that's why they're all pushing for this Undertaker Braun Strowman match at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to see Braun Strowman and the Undertaker match. And if it's going to be the Undertaker's last match, which we'll get to later, from what we've been told, if it's going to be the Undertaker's last match, nobody wants to see Undertaker go out with a Braun Strowman match.
Oh yeah, hell no.
Nobody wants to see that. I didn't anyway. If like I say, if he had, and I said this to Daz of Max Wrestling, if he had some like development, maybe 2-3 year development, this might have worked.
Agreed.
But again, it's Vince McMahon's fetish with big men.
I mean, I get it. It's just, he's just not ready right now. Like I said, you got to give him another couple of years.
I was gonna say he's far from ready from
he's
what it
far
is.
from ready. Yeah.
He's far from ready. So who do you see winning overall?
I'm gonna go. Like I said, I'm gonna pick Mark Henry just for the nice little rub. If he's gonna go out this year, just give it to Mark Henry.
Okay, a match that I don't get, a match that I don't get. I'm not talking about the third annual Memorial Battle Royal. That's here and there.
And that's supposed to be, from what I'm hearing, is on the pre-show.
I would imagine that'll be on the pre-show. Although this next match that we're going to talk about, will probably, to be honest with you, should be on the pre-show because I don't see where this fits in at WrestleMania.
Good.
The Usos and the Dudleys tag team grudge match.
Anthony, it's funny that you said that because that is, besides the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, they said that is going to be the second match on the pre-show in the 2 hours because the pre-show this year is from 5 to 7. I think those are the two matches that they're putting on the pre-show.
Put the Battle Royal. I tell you what they should do. Take the Battle Royal out. Put the Battle Royal on the actual main show.
On the actual card, yeah.
On the actual card. And I tell you what you could do, even though I'll probably get stick for this. Stick freaking Kalisto and Ryback on the pre-show.
Okay, we'll get to that one.
Yeah, no doubt. Jesus Christ. But like I said, the Usos and the Dudleys. Where do you see this one going?
I don't see this being a one and done. What my pick here is the Dudleys beat the Usos here, and then next month we follow it up with a tables match between the Usos and the Dudleys. If not next month, because I think next month is the Payback, and then the following month is the Extreme Rules.
No. Let me correct you there. April's Extreme Rules. You were correct the first time. April's Extreme Rules.
Okay, I'm sorry. Thank you.
April's Extreme Rules. So yeah, if they did that, then this would work. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, it should be on the pre-show. To be honest with you, if there was ever a match that should be on the pre-show, it's this one because in terms of the WrestleMania card, it just doesn't fit for me.
It doesn't. The Dudleys. I feel the Dudley Boys heel turn has been very lackluster.
It was poorly done.
Like I said, I see them getting the win here, and then next month you do a tables match, and you have the Usos beat them in their specialty.
Yeah, it was poorly done. The heel turn for the Dudleys. it was, it lured them into a trap. Oh yeah, we'll have them in this 8-man tables match, and then we'll just turn on them after the match. They could have done that a little bit better, to be honest. But anyway, I mean, don't get me wrong, I love the Dudleys, and it's good to see them back. But to be honest with you, they should be tag team champions. They should have had a tag team title.
Yeah, they screwed them with that New Day thing. I mean, I get that they were putting them over, but they kept losing to the New Day. They kept losing to the Wyatts, and
They're still nine-time WWE tag team champions, aren't they? They haven't had the 10th. Should have had the 10th a long time ago. But anyway, right. So, which one are you going with on that one? You've gone for Mark Henry on the.
I'm going for Mark Henry on the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, and I'm going for the Dudleys to beat the Usos.
If it goes that way, but as we all know, the Usos. Some people say the John Cena of the tag team division, so have to wait and see.
And be honest, I'm sick and tired of seeing them on squashing the Ascension. I mean, we got to get somebody else for them to wrestle besides. I'm just sorry, the Ascension of just they're like the new Job Squad almost, because every time I see the Ascension, they're losing.
Yeah. If anybody's listening to this, Ascension, get yourself back on NXT.
Yep.
Right, this is a very strange direction where this next match that we're going to talk about now and get your prediction for has gone. The Intercontinental Championship match. Intercontinental title. Now, I did a podcast a while back, the Royal Rumble podcast, and during the podcast, I had it on the chat thing, which got over 2,000, which got nearly 2,000 views, by the way. On the chat thing, somebody came in and said, "Oh, well, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens at WrestleMania," and it seems like they were going down that direction. But it seems like somebody backstage just went and pulled the plug. Because yes, they both came back in time and everything like that, but I don't get it. I just don't get where this is supposedly gone.
My thought on this is, last year they did a ladder match for the Intercontinental Championship where you had like 6 or 7 guys, and Daniel Bryan won the Intercontinental title, so it's like a repeat of last year almost.
Yeah. Now, don't get me wrong, I've got no problem with Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Dolph Ziggler being in it. Yes, The Miz was in it because we knew that was going to happen eventually anyway, considering what happened these past couple of weeks on Raw. So we knew The Miz was going to get involved, even though we don't like The Miz, But he was going to get involved anyway because him and Dolph Ziggler wanted it. So I don't know if this was Kevin Owens' idea or probably WWE management, but you've got Kevin Owens, you've got Sami Zayn, you've got Dolph Ziggler, you've got The Miz.
Yeah.
What the fuck did Sin Cara, Zack Ryder, and Stardust do to get into that situation? Besides being picked for a triple threat match for a potential opponent, which fell through. Because it was all Kevin Owens' master plan.
Well, here's the thing. Most of these gentlemen, except for Zack Ryder and Sin Cara, have been former Intercontinental Champions, I guess, if you want to look at it like that. I'm just trying to bring some logic into this. But the thing is, I see them... I like in a way that Zack Ryder's getting his moment. I mean, I still think it should have been just Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn one-on-one for the Intercontinental Championship. But, I mean, it's nice to see Zack Ryder get a moment. I mean, him and the Hype Bros have been killing it in NXT. And, Zack's there. Sin Cara, since Kalisto's doing his thing with the U.S. title, Sin Cara's on the show. Stardust is in there again. Nice to see Cody get his just due. And The Miz, you got to throw The Miz in there. And Dolph Ziggler is Dolph Ziggler. But, be honest, it is what it is.
Well, I think I picked Sami Zayn to win this one.
That would be... I agree with you. I agree. Sami Zayn coming out with the Intercontinental title.
Yeah. But like I say, I mean, just keep Zack Ryder on NXT for now with the Hype Bros. Because
I agree.
They're actually doing well, that tag team.
Yeah.
Sin Cara seems to be lost without Kalisto, since Kalisto's now the US champion. More on that in a second. And Stardust needs to return to Cody Rhodes, to be honest with you, but that's my opinion on that one. Right, the next match, which is also took a weird turn. New Day.
Oh, God.
Versus the League of Nations. which will be in June. The 3 members of the League of Nations, should they still be in business, because Wade Barrett is on the verge of leaving. So this is a 6-man tag, right?
This is from what I heard, it's a 4-on-3 handicap match.
Oh my fucking god! I suppose you better throw Wade Barrett in there, since this is probably going to be his last WrestleMania anyway. Wade Barrett, the 4-on-3, fucking hell. I think New Day have wrote a check they ain't going to cash, quite frankly. But anyway, how do you see this going?
I see New Day retaining, and I see if Barrett is on the way out, which I think he is, and I just want to say right now, if Barrett does go to TNA, just put him with Galloway.
Yeah.
And but yeah, my pick is New Day, and I see Barrett taking the fall.
Yeah. I've always said the League of Nations are a poor man's United Kingdom.
Yes, from that great WWE video game. I believe it was WWE 12.
Yeah, WWE 12 video game. Go and find it, and you know who I'm talking about, because the United Kingdom were Drew Galloway, TNA World Champion, Wade Barrett, Sheamus,
and William Regal.
Granted, now Regal's on NXT as a scout or talent coordinator or whatever the fuck his job is down there, GM as well.
Yep.
So there'll be no room for him, but like I said, the League of Nations are a poor man's United Kingdom. Although I have been impressed with them during this little feud, because that Raw where they beat the hell out of the New Day and beat them down, they actually looked like a group.
Yeah, they look strong.
They look strong. They actually look like how a group should be. And up until that point, they hadn't been like that. At least from what I saw, anyway. I might be wrong, but from what I've seen up until that point where they beat the crap out of New Day on Raw, they hadn't been that group they should have been. I mean, they should have done that to other people a long time ago, and they did in a way, with the Usos and Roman Reigns feud. You know, all of that leading to Roman Reigns win the title after TLC, but they should have done it more. They should have been more dominant. They weren't. I didn't feel that they were that dominant as they did with the New Day stuff when they beat the living tar out of New Day on Raw, which was, to be honest with you, in a funny, because I'm not the biggest New Day fan. I'll tell you that for nothing.
Yep.
Right. I'll throw one match in there. As we're recording this, guys, this match hasn't been announced yet, from what I've seen. But I suppose it'll probably be in. It'll probably get announced and it'll be in. AJ Styles, Chris Jericho.
Styles.
Yeah. I swear to God right now, and like I say, guys, I am doing a live stream on WrestleMania. I will be watching WrestleMania and streaming it on YouTube, and you won't see it. You'll be seeing me. You'll get my reactions of WrestleMania and whatever. I swear to God right now, if they do to AJ Styles what they did to Sting last year, I will fucking lose the plot. I will fucking... You will see me on that live stream. I will fucking trash my fucking bedroom. Seriously.
I don't think they're doing it.
I don't think they're doing it. Yeah, the way it's being built, they're not going to do it.
Yeah.
I think this feud between Chris Jericho and AJ Styles is a design for Jericho to put AJ Styles over. I think that's been very clear, but this is WWE we're talking about. Go ahead.
I would like to make just a quick note about AJ Styles. So, they banned the Styles Clash, and now we just have him doing the phenomenal forearm, as it's known, and the calf crusher, which are still cool moves, but why you gotta ban the Styles Clash?
Fuck you, Vince.
Yeah.
That's all I gotta say on that one. They banned the Styles Clash, so it has been banned then.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know. Oh, God,
well, here's the thing, too. Before even AJ got there, Michelle McCool was using it. It was called the Fake.
Yeah. Pot called Kettle Black there, Vince. Oh, we'll ban it now. We'll ban the Styles Clash now. You didn't ban it when Michelle McCool was using it. For fuck's sake.
And I know you want to give the whole thing, well, Yoshitatsu, he's a former employer there. He got his neck broken. I mean, it wasn't AJ's fault. Both of those times were not AJ's fault. It was just because those guys didn't tuck their heads. It's a safe move.
It's a simple thing to do. And I've seen... I've watched wrestling all my life. I'd be able to take a fucking Styles Clash.
Yep.
It's a simple fucking thing to do. All you do is get put into a power drive position. You let the guy put the foot in, and you wrap your hands or your arms or whatever it is around the guy's ankles, okay? And then as he's going to drop you, you tilt your head to the side, and you take the bump that way where your cheek's hitting the canvas. You don't you don't move, unless you can work something out with style, so you can counter it and everything. You don't move, you don't tilt your head forward, you just tilt your head to the side and let your cheek take the fall. Your cheek or your right cheek or your left cheek on your face, and you just tilt your head to the side. It's a simple thing. Fucking Christopher Daniels could do it, for crying out loud. And you've got all these guys, you've got Lionheart complaining, Adrian McCollum, you've got Yoshitatsu, come on.
Which, the only reason that's why I brought up, because also Yoshitatsu is back wrestling in New Japan, right, as of now.
Yes, he was announcer. He was announcer the night they turned on Styles, the Bullet Club.
Yep.
And a very poor announcer too. I felt like Kevin Kelly and Mike Stryker were trying to get, they had a hard time with that one, like trying to get stuff out of him. But in a way, it was hilarious. But it just didn't work. I don't think the promoters of that will be thinking, no, we ain't going to be calling in for any announcing jobs anytime soon.
What's up, everybody? This is Johnny Ferrari in Las Vegas, and you're listening to the Swerve Talk Network featuring Max Wrestling, Sunday Sag, Offshoot Radio, and more at the Swerve Talk Network on Twitter for more information. Woohoo!
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the final part of the Wrestling Matters podcast. Now, I want to leave you on something. Before I do that, like I said at the beginning of the program, or the podcast rather, check out all the Offshoot Radio, Sunday Segway, Offshoot Radio on the Swerve Talk Network. Check them all out. You got Offshoot Radio, Sunday Segway, Max Wrestling, Evan McCabe, yours truly. Check them all out on the Swerve Talk Network. You know who they are. You've heard them before. Check them out. Swerve Talk Network. SwerveTalk.wix.com/network. It's a mouthful in itself. Also, check out the Mystery Island as well. More information on them in the coming weeks on the podcast. All the links to them will be in the description below. Be sure to check them out at all costs. And I want to leave with this note, ladies and gentlemen. I was going to say this at the beginning of the podcast during my little, talk with you guys as I do. But I thought, no, I'll save this for last. Because it fucking cracked me up when I was watching. It was WrestleMania week last week. And we all watched Hall of Fame. Very good Hall of Fame. Freebirds going in, Bossman going in, Sting going in, and yes, TMZ were right, he did retire. But the one thing that got me was actually not all the inductees. It actually happened during Stan Henson's induction. Now, the induction videos they play. They had a lot of people talking. They had Bradshaw, I believe, and even Laurinaitis himself got involved as well. John Laurinaitis started talking. Now, it wasn't the fact that Laurinaitis was on there or Laurinaitis was talking. Something got me. Underneath, he told you who was talking. It was John Laurinaitis. But it wasn't that. It was underneath the name. I want to know who the hell backstage put John Laurinaitis and then underneath the name put WWE Legend. Did I miss something? WWE Legend, what, for being talent relations backstage? For being clown shoes on national television? For being basically CM Punk's bitch for most of his tenure on television. And hell, the last time I remember him being on TV, he got rock bottomed by The Rock. And then people was elbowed. What the fuck did he do to get WWE Legend? Is it because he signed a Legends contract or something? I mean, for goodness sake. I mean, seriously, did I miss something? I've been watching wrestling. I've been watching WWE now since 91 at the most. Maybe earlier. But ever since I was a wee child. And I remember John Laurinaitis being in the WWE at one point. He was a star in Japan. He was in WCW as the Dynamic Dudes, or Skater Boys as I call them. You know, we all know Shane Douglas was a star of that team. But he was a big hit in Japan. He invented the Ace Crusher, or the Stunner, or the Diamond Cutter, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. You know, he invented that, you know, and he did all these stuffs and everything, and hell, he was even talent relations for WCW until the closure. That's how he ended up getting the gig in WWE. Not once did he compete in the ring for WWE that I remember. So where the hell does he get that right? Or where the hell do people get that right? I mean, what the fuck is WWE coming to? I mean, CM Punk was straight up right, man. You know, gland-handling douchebag yes-man. And sort-of brown-nosers. John Laurinaitis, WWE legend. If that's not an oxymoron, I don't know what the hell is. The only legend out of the Laurinaitis family is Animal. Because he was a part of one of the best tag teams, if not the best tag teams to ever grace the professional wrestling business. And damn sure certainly one of my favourite tag teams, if not the favourite tag team of my eras in professional wrestling as well, the Road Warriors. I grew up on the Road Warriors, believe you me. They are the best tag team to ever grace wrestling in general. That was the only Laurinaitis that I remember becoming a WWE legend. WCW legend, yes. Maybe New Japan Pro Wrestling. Or New Japan legend, or whatever. WWE legend? Nah. None of mine, Nelly. And you're not fooling me. I mean, I swear that should have been on Botchamania. If Botchamania is watching this or listening to this, please put that on. Because that's a Botchamania in itself. John Laurinaitis, WWE legend. Jesus fucking Christ. If John Laurinaitis is WWE legend, then Jim Cornette's been WWE champion. Go figure. Anyway, guys, that about wraps this up for the podcast. Hope you've enjoyed that little rant there. John Laurinaitis, WWE legend. Thanks again for listening. I'll see you next time. Peace out.
Well, enough is enough, and it's time for a change! Professional wrestling! This is it! This is us standing up!
Yes! 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 Yes!
That's 13-14! Till death!
Dina, I am the best in the world.
Cause that's the bottom line. Cause Stone Cold Simpson.